We'll be starting in just a few minutes. We'll be starting in just a minute or two. Welcome. Welcome to Pacific Center for Lifelong Learning. I'm Cynthia Nipers from Pacific Center for Lifelong Learning, and you are at Lunar New Year 2026, Year of the Fire Horse, with Paulynne Cheng from Malaysia. Thank you to Rob Nadeau, our operations manager, and to Julian Ruiz, our tech host. We are recording this webinar, so if you want to review it again later, and for anybody who couldn't make it, and for your friends, it will be available on the Pacific College of Health and Science YouTube channel. If you didn't already see this, we will put in the chat ways to get your Batsa chart, so you'll know not just your year animal, but also the month, day, and hour animal, which if you didn't already know this is very important, and you'll learn that tonight. If you have questions, Paulynne will try to open up for questions toward the end. Without further ado, Paulynne Cheng with Year of the Fire Horse. Giddy up.
Thank you, Cynthia. Thank you. Hello, everybody. Good evening. Let me start by just sharing my screen straight up. Okay. Is everybody ready for the Year of the Horse? Okay. So there's now listen, there's a significant lag between what's happening on Zoom and also what is on YouTube. So we will keep the questions to the end, okay? So with that, let me officially start. Hello, everybody. Good evening to those of you, those who are with on my side of the woods. Good morning. Okay, and Happy New Year. It's especially apt for us to meet today because the Gregorian New Year may be over, but today, at least here in my part of the world, and for you tomorrow, is February 4th. That February 4th is the exact transition date between one year to another. So the year doesn't change on the Chinese New Year. That's for celebrations. That's for lots of food. The actual transition always happens every February 4th. So right now, you and I we're sitting on the cusp of the transition. February 4th for me, February 3rd for most of you whom I assume are watching in the US. Now, something interesting about this celebration, it's actually a minor celebration and it's called Lap Chun in Cantonese, or in Mandarin is Li Chun. And two things. This is culture, yeah, not metaphysics. Number one, it's believed that if you, on February 4th, if you place an egg standing up on the ground, it would stand straight up. Okay, that's what is believed. I've never tried it. I don't know. Okay, as far as I'm concerned, an egg should become an omelet, not not standing on the ground. And that's number one. And number two, there is also this cultural practice where people like to bank in money. They make deposits into the bank on February 4th with the conviction that that money is going to grow for them. So if you want to do that, tomorrow will be a great day for you. Okay, and so now before I proceed, let's make this session as interactive as we can. So I need some participation from you guys. Now, so this is what we're gonna do. Grab a piece of paper, or if you're on desktop, just open any work files, okay? Microsoft Word or PowerPoint, whatever works, whatever works. Okay, so I'm asking you to draw a 4-column table with 3 rows like this. At the top of the row, label it hour, day, month, and year. Now, Cynthia has already shared the links to the free Bazi plotter. Now, listen, there are many online. Feel free to use any. These links that Cynthia is sharing are for your convenience. Just bear in mind, registration may be required for some of them. Okay, so what you're going to do is key in your date of birth as in the Western or Gregorian calendar. Please don't convert. If you know your time of birth, and key that in as well. If not, just click on, there's all the online plotters will give you the option, time of birth unknown. So once you see, Cynthia's already telling you, I'm a pig, dog, pig, and rooster. Good for you. Pig is really awesome. So once you see your chart, you look at the row where the animal sign is. Okay, it's the 1, 2. It's the third row if you count the header, right? It's the third row. And I'll show you a sample in a minute. And write down the animal sign in the year, month, day, and hour. Leave the third row blank for the action to be taken. Let me show you a sample. Right, this is plotted from the Zodiac Academy. The Zodiac Academy. It's a free plotter and one of my favorite because it's so compact. And so as you can see from the header, then you have 1 row, and the next one is called Earthly Branches. And in this sample, we have the rooster in the year, the snake in the month, the ox in the day, and the goat in the hour. So while you do that and you're busy getting your chart, I'll do the obligatory self-introduction and a short intro to the year's energy. Don't worry, feel free to tune me out, okay? Who wants to listen to my self-intro? Anyway, self-intro. I am Paulynne Cheng. Nice to meet you. I was formerly a communications professional turned Bazi and Feng Shui practitioner. And my work today centers around, well, helping people to take action based on the energy that is coming in for them. All right. Okay. Now, Denim D Chan, are we looking at the stand? Brunch, bro, brunch. Right. So now, most important for the year of the fire horse, the underlying, this is what I need you to know. The underlying assumptions or the assumptions we all make that underpin our decision making are all being transformed with the year of the fire horse. What means? It means in the past, an example, right? In the past, we assume that if we were to work hard, we would get promoted. Does it still work that way these days? Sometimes, sometimes not. So the external cues we rely on to make sense of life are changing. And with the year of the fire horse, we are entering a period where many external systems feel less stable. For example, structures that we used to lean on, institutions, narratives, authority, even a shared sense of reality, all changing. And when that happens, well, unfortunately, usually the first human response is chaos, because the old reference points or even the old roles no longer quite apply. In fact, Cynthia, a few days ago, Cynthia reminded me of this as well. I worked on the assumption that because I built my slides on Canva, and I worked on the assumption that Canva is going to function, but it was an assumption that I should not be making. And when Cynthia emailed me and she's like, "Hey, can we have a PDF copy of your presentation?" And it goes, "Oh, yes, I should do that." So all these underlying assumptions we make to deal efficiently with the business of living must also be updated. So if you are listening to me and not busy plotting a chart, then in that case, I invite you to, after this session, please sit down and just run through in your head what kind of assumptions are you relying on to make decisions for your business, for your career, and also for your life. Okay, so could also mean you can expand that to relationships, friendships, everything, right? So now, next, what type of industries are likely to thrive in this era of rapid change? The thriving industries be eh, would be I mean, I think I don't need to say more. Everyone knows it's all about futuristic tech and AI. Of course, because we are in the age of fire, information and communication tech like software, cybersecurity, fintech, e-commerce would be strong. Energy and green solutions, of course, and very important in these few years, visibility, brand marketing, your brand presence, for example. So industries that are likely to be strong because they fulfill a particular need, because in a year when fire is so strong, metal becomes weak. And as many of you know, the five elements govern the organs in our body. Right. And when it comes to healthcare, we want to have a balance, which means that for many people's energy field, the metal vibration is going to be dropped. Now, honestly, I've lost count of how many Bazi clients I've asked to explore incorporating acupuncture into their health maintenance routines, right? Because as I mentioned, in Bazi, health is all about achieving balance. So whichever element that is weak, in this case, in the case of 2026, metal and water needs to be topped up by human action. So the remedy is for me to say, hey, if you're open to it, look for someone in your area where who practices acupuncture, and you can use the acupuncture as a way to maintain balance. So I recommend that a lot. Okay, so in order to tap into those markets, again, we're back to the brand presence. You need to have the visibility. Well, what's the point of being the best acupuncturist in your city, state, or country? Nobody knows about it. So same goes for career professionals. It's easier to grow your career when people know and recognize you and your work. So brand presence in period 9 is non-negotiable. Right? So now, is everyone ready with your own chart? I think I've talked long enough, right? Now let's go to the animal signs. Now, FYI, I may have arranged the cover page in order, but my presentation is not going to follow the chronological order of the animal signs. Okay, we going random. Sorry, for fun, right? Now, of course, we're gonna start with the boss of the year. So who's got the horse in their chart? Now, what you see here is on this side are the positive and negative stars. Think of them as blessings and lessons that come to us every year. And on the other side would be some actions that you can take. So this is the part where whichever one resonates with you, you write it on your piece of paper, okay? So the horse in 2026 as the Grand Duke is basically saying the buck stops here. So as the Grand Duke, this is always about ownership, accountability, and FYI, Grand Duke energy can bring breakthrough. The Grand Duke always brings challenges, always, because as the Grand Duke, you're supposed to step up. And the golden lock, this is the star that rewards after you have succeeded in leading a tough project. So we're all about taking ownership of our own business or careers instead of waiting for opportunities to land on our laps, which means being proactive about achieving growth. So for business, for career professionals, this could be thinking about what kind of portfolio do you need in order to grow your career. For business owners, what challenges must the person first overcome in order to stabilize or expand their business? And because the Grand Duke always brings challenges, we want to be proactive with this energy. Means not sitting around waiting in trepidation. Instead, we want to be the ones picking the battles we feel we have a better chance to win. We take on that project. The project don't need to be money related, of course, but since I'm obsessed with money, so I'm always talking about money. But it can be fitness related, relationship. It can be about mental health. Anything that once overcome gives you that increase in confidence, which then leads to an uptick in self-leadership. But there's always a but. The shadow side of the horse, be careful of the performance punishment, especially career professionals. You know, the part where doing a good job is usually rewarded by more responsibilities. So, which again relates to why it is so important that you be the one to choose and accept the stretch projects. Otherwise, the punishment might kick in. You might end up doing stuff for other people the entire year, and that's no fun. So, if you have the horse in your chart, write down in your action column either one of these, whichever resonates. Okay, now let's move on. Next, the tiger. Who's got a tiger in their chart? Tiger, tiger, hello. Okay, so the tiger has a number of negative stars, undoubtedly. Most of them signify recurring obstacles and setbacks. Remember we spoke about examining the underlying assumptions that we make about life, right? If you have the tiger in your chart, best to do so and create some contingency planning. Also, since the negative stars are surfacing recurring obstacles and setbacks. If you have a chance to resolve them once and for all, this would be the opportunity to do so. Because while these two negative stars, White Tiger and Sky Warrior, are deemed negative due to their aggressive nature, they do actually bestow courage. Courage to smash through setbacks, courage to pivot around obstacles. Now, that said, the tiger is supported by three main positive stars. Number one, tiger is able to tap into the opportunities of 2026 via its three harmony relationship with the horse. This three harmony, when it shows up, usually brings collaboration opportunities. And these types of collaborations are usually multi-party by nature. So it's not a one-on-one. It's you working with multiple people. So for business owners, this could mean collaboration with other businesses, with key clients, with cross-industry collaborations, maybe. In other words, opportunity to grow through combining resources with other people. For career professionals, this could mean intra-departmental or intra-division collaborations that enhances your standings in the organization. Tiger also has the heavenly horse. Now, on the surface, this star behaves very much like the sky horse in the sense that it brings opportunities to impact foreign markets or foreign shores. But the heavenly horse has an added nuance. It says that we are all limited only by the limits of our imagination. Now, I don't know about you, but I certainly am limited, right? We all have our own version of our ceiling, our self-limiting belief, don't we? So the heavenly horse is here saying that, hey, if you can overcome the imagined ceiling that you have set, if you can look beyond that, then you have the opportunity to grow much, much further. But how do we do that? Again, we use the three harmony to enhance, enrich, and diversify your social or professional network. Networking with colleagues from different disciplines, maybe different countries, different cultures, consciously looking to be a part of communities where you have room to grow, where you have the chance to level up to the level of the room, where you can also leverage on the power of the Academy Star to access new information and new perspectives in order to break past that self-imagined ceiling. Okay, so this must be done very consciously, okay, because otherwise the three harmony doesn't discriminate, okay, FYI, okay, it can pull in collaboration opportunities. It might also pull in a couple of trolls. Okay, so we don't want to attract takers, right? Okay, now that job of filtering, that's ours. So if you have the tiger in your chart, pick one, put it down in your action column under tiger. Okay, for those of you who are still confused about where to find your animal sign, if you know your year, then just focus on the year animal. Okay, next. Who's got the dog? Okay, I'm seeing some comments. Cynthia, is the slide on your end, does it look sharp? Is it blurry?
Yeah, we can see it.
Great, thank you. Okay, so let's talk about the dog again with the three harmony. That's why I put them together. So, like the tiger, the dog also taps into the energy of the year via the three harmony, which, as you know by now, it would be collaborations. Again, multi-party collaborations, but more specifically in the dog, with the support of the elegant seal, this is an opportunity to initiate innovative cross-industry collaborations that can help you expand either your career or your business. Alternatively, this elegant seal is also an intelligent star. It represents the enhanced intellectual capacity to master a new skill. So if you've already been thinking at the back of your mind that, maybe I want to take the next level course at the Pacific College. Well, consider this your cue. Okay, so the main question to ask with the elegant seal is this: what skill do you need to level up your business or career? It could be directly related to your field of work, for example, or it could be completely different. Okay, just a suggestion, right? I'm assuming most of my audience today are healthcare professionals. What if you were to use the elegant seal to master digital marketing or content creation, for example? And also again, the three stages, this is more of a career star. A little harder for business owners to use because the three stages represents opportunity to climb up the career ladder. And in Cantonese, we call it bo bo go saying climbing up the ladder. So to use the three stages for real, you kind of need a ladder to climb. So, which means that for career professionals, this can bring promotion luck. Now, with this star in play, does it guarantee that promotions happen automatically? Well, sometimes it does, but in most cases, we need to kind of nudge it along a little. How? we make it easy for ourselves to be promoted by either we upskill or by our ability to collaborate and work alongside other people. So if the dog sounds pretty supported right now, okay, what could mess up this year? Well, cynicism for one, being dismissive of any opportunities by being overly skeptical, or worse, rejecting opportunities for fear of what others will say. That is the 5 ghosts in action. Also, I think this will apply for many of you. Be mindful of compliance-related issues. Your business permits, your practice licenses, maybe in some cases, visas, could be as mundane as speeding tickets or parking tickets. The inconvenience of dealing with government bureaucracy. Now, that's the warning from the officer charm, the year charm, and the flying charm. But who's to say we can't turn these negative stars to our advantage? Now, if you are the one, imagine this, imagine with me. Okay, if you are the one who can easily navigate the confusing and perplexing and often illogical labyrinth of government bureaucracy, there could be opportunities there for business growth, for collaborations, for career progress, right? So if you want an easy way to overcome these charm stars, it's like, oh, no, I don't want to deal with any government agency. Okay, you want an easy way to overcome these stars? Go and get something renewed. Your passport, your driving license, something. And renew in person, because officer charm means I have to see the officer. So that's how I would do it for sure. All right. If this comes into my child, I look at it and then probably look at my passport and go, time to renew it. Okay. So now, again, if you have the dog in your chart under your action column, pick one. Don't pick all. Don't be kiasu. Okay. Pick one. The one that makes the most sense to you. Don't be FOMO. All right. So let's move on to the next one. Monkey. Monkeys, time to represent. Now, in 2026, yes, the monkey does not have many positive stars. In fact, the monkey has 0 wealth stars. But the monkey has something more precious. The monkey has peace. Now, we're going to talk about the negative stars. First, Earth funeral door can represent at surface level those types of bad news, those types. Yeah, the one that represents finality. But again, assuming most of my audience are health professionals, for health professionals, especially those of you who work in hospitals, you are actually already in the Earth funeral and funeral door environment every day. It's actually already part and parcel of your daily life. So for those of you who are in that environment, not so much concern for you. Now, the solitary and separating edge is interesting. These two together form a double-edged sword. On the shadow side, it's not great for relationships because these two together brings up our more antisocial tendencies. Okay, traditional 八字, which is very community driven, would deem that as a negative thing. But in today's over-connected world, I think I could be safe to argue that the arrival of the solitary and separating edge is an opportunity to unplug from the matrix and decline the responsibility for other people's mess. Hence, not my circus, not my monkeys. Okay, so once you master this phase, this one, okay, your stress level will drop by 3 monkeys for sure. So what about the good stars? Well, for business owners, the sky horse represents an opportunity or the potential emergence of a vehicle for market expansion into new markets. Could be actual geopolitical, could be demographics, could be psychographics, depends on your business. Alternatively, The sky horse basically represents opportunity to gain new experiences and broaden our horizons through travel or maybe a study tour. Sounds fun, right? And now the entire suite in the monkey, the whole thing, everything, the red and the black together. Okay. The entire suite in the monkey is great for one thing. If you've been thinking of doing something like your master's or your PhD, this actually gives you the mental space to delve into your studies by helping you create that psychological distance from other people's drama, which is something that someone who is going for these types of studies would find to be very useful. Now, suddenly the monkey looks pretty good, right? Okay, all right. Next, okay, only one monkey in the chat. All right, no problem. Now, next one, who's got the rat? The animal, this is the animal sign that needs a support group in 2026. So we're gonna start the support group for them. Right. Who's got the rat? Please identify yourselves. We need to hold hands and have a small kumbaya moment, all right? The rat has it kind of rough. Right? Like, listen, okay? No worries. Okay. So first of all, this is a year breaker year. And there are not many positive stars cushioning the year breaker. Now, let me explain. In the wheel of the 12 animal signs, the rat sits directly opposite the horse. So when the horse is the boss, the rat automatically becomes the opposing force. Therefore, the year breaker. Now, being the year breaker doesn't mean disaster. Okay, please stop. It simply means change. The question is, what kind of change and where? If the rat appears in your year pillar, think change to your personal or business branding, or it could also mean change. It's an opportunity for you to meet new friends. Now, if the rat is in your month, as only one says so, only one has it, yes, and red crow also, rat in the month, the rat is in your month, change how you run your business or career. Example, shifting from high touch to low touch, using AI agents, that's change. From working in your business to working on your business, from partnership to solo, from solo to partnership. Many ways to change, right? The very human issue. We try to stay status quo, which is not possible. Okay, for career professionals, even more ways to change. Promotion is change. Cutting down on hours to focus on mental health also change. Could be a change of workplace, literally. Could be a change in who you report to. Could be a change to a different department. So many ways to change. Find a way to make proactive changes. Now, if the red is in your day pillar, lifestyle change. Very simple lifestyle change. If I don't exercise, then in this year I start exercising. It's a good change, right? Okay. And if it's in the hour pillar, this is the most interesting one. Somebody mentioned a rat in the hour. Okay. This is the most interesting one. Change what you know, change your life. In other words, change a mind shift. Okay. Change the mindset. All right. Okay. Now, I need to answer one of the questions, Jovial. Which you pick the animals that are in your chart. You pick the animals that are in your chart. If you don't have the rat in your chart, then you wait for your animals to show up, okay? Right. Now, here's the thing that many people would miss, as I mentioned. Rat and horse are peach blossom animal signs. When peach blossom animals clash, this clash brings opportunities to meet new people, new circles, new communities, new tribes. Hence, especially if you have the rat in your year, it really brings opportunity for you to connect with a whole different group of people. So if you do nothing else this year, at least be aware of this social opening. Now, of course, the year breaker doesn't come alone. It's always paired with the greater consumer. This star represents potential outflow of wealth. In plain language, money flowing out. This isn't necessarily bad. Okay, strategy number 1. If money is flowing out anyway, let's be intentional about it. Money going out, invest in something that appreciates. Could be a blue chip stock that you plan to hold for a fairly long term, could be property, could be certain IP, something that appreciates. Or if you can, if this is within your budget, strategy number 2, we use the greater consumer money for a once in a lifetime experience. Take something off that bucket list, a meaningful trip, stuff like that. Okay, but let me be clear, only if you can afford it. Otherwise, this year with the greater consumer calls for good cash flow management, emergency stash, expense tracking, basic financial mindfulness. Now, let's talk about the more uncomfortable stuff. Obstacles and prison inmate represent basically our very human resistance to change, the urge to stay exactly where we are. So this tends to show up differently at different life stages. Younger people tend to be more open to change, of course, right? But as we get older, we spend a crazy amount of energy maintaining our status quo. You realize that? Yeah, because we get tired. We want our human brain wants familiarity, and we're trying to protect the status quo. And in doing so, we unknowingly give up the growth that requires discomfort. So if we were to zoom out and look at the stars in the red as a whole, without labeling them positive or negative, yeah, we're not labeling. The message is actually clear. The red is pointing towards an inside-out change. From inside, this could mean a change of values or growing out of roles and labels that no longer fit. Okay, and this is where the month emptiness comes in. Okay, month emptiness is neutral, even spiritual. It represents the void, and the void has one very useful function. We can chuck in all the stuff that no longer serves us. If obstacles and prison inmates can represent old script that were pre-programmed into us without our consent, this year gives us the chance to take those scripts and throw into the void. Done. Okay, let me share one personally. Okay, one script I've struggled with all my life. My script is money is hard to earn. My parents drilled that into me. Okay, for until now they're still drilling. Okay, I'm 55 years old. So even now, in my 5th decade, I still feel guilty taking a day off. Can you imagine? So I'm working on detaching from that script, but it's a process, and I'm not done. So that's the kind of work the red supports. So if you're willing to do some self-reflection, this year carries a real opportunity to improve on mental health simply by releasing scripts that no longer serve you. Okay, just know that, okay, doing this work may come with grief, sky sadness and sky cry. It reflects the grief for what could have been, for the time lost, for paths not taken, for the dreams unrealized. That's normal. It's not a sign that you're doing it wrong. It's normal. Okay. And if you choose to go there, then my hope is that you emerge on the other side stronger, more resilient, more aligned to who you actually are. And a final suggestion for the red. I know it's a lot. I've been spending a lot of time here. Final suggestion for the red. If there is a childhood dream that has been suppressed because it's simply not practical, or it is just too fantastical, or society deems it as silly or frivolous, if there is this childhood dream that you have, and if you can afford it with the greater consumer, 2026 is the year to go for it. Okay, so next is the dragon. Let's talk about the dragon, right? So now the rats no longer need a support group anymore. So, okay, anyway, let's talk about the dragon. Now, most important thing you need to know is that the dragon comes with 2 powerful problem-solving stars. Okay, relief god, heavenly relief. They offer support when we take action. Somehow, when we take action, the knots get untangled faster. Okay, so I like to describe them as a proverbial broom or a high-tech vacuum cleaner. Okay, I'm sure the stars are offended, but they don't care. Okay, so whichever you prefer. Okay, now that you have this broom, you're supposed to clean house. Clean house. So what type of problems should we be sweeping away? Well, instability, which is problems related to vulnerability to changes in the external environment. Example, relying on a single income stream is quite dangerous in this period of time. Now, don't always think the worst, yeah. Okay. It could be as simple as maybe, a protest happening outside. Now, listen, okay, don't think that protest is something unique in your part of the world. In 2026, 2027, there will be plenty of protests happening outside. Okay, so that could be a simple process, maybe preventing you from physically getting to work. So problem solving here could mean that looking for other ways that you can work from home or finding better opportunities that makes you less reliant on the need to show up physically, something like that. Okay, that's number one. That's instability. Number two, people matters. Leopard tail, moonshot, lonesome, and the burden basket. Arguments, conflicts, disagreements. Okay, if these can be resolved one way or another so that they no longer live rent-free in your head, wouldn't that be a good thing? And number three, health matters. Blood knife and the sky dog. When we add both of these to the problem solver stars, this could point towards a minor elective surgery that could resolve a health matter for you once and for all. Like, let's say, for example, your wisdom tooth is kind of giving you problems, but you've been putting it off because it's a thing, it's a whole thing. Right, but with the blood knife and the sky dog together with the relief stars, maybe this year you go get rid of it. Okay, so as we problem solve, what else does the dragon have got to offer? It has got the 8 seeds. On the surface, this represents access to decision makers, means easier to get projects or budgets approved. For example, if you work in a hospital environment, maybe you have you suddenly have access to the board of directors, for example. Okay. Beyond that, 8 seeds can give us early access to information or opportunities that others may not just be privy just yet. So, for example, certain clubs, associations that has access to forthcoming information about upcoming changes in regulations, that would be useful. So when you add them all together, the dragon is giving you a chance in 2026 to clean house. Why are we cleaning house? We want to problem solve. Why? Because when we meet again in 2027, if we meet again, you and I, okay, we will find that the dragon has all the positive stars. Is that motivation enough? All the money stars, all the opportunity stars, but the money stars may not come in if we enter 2027 still burdened by instability issues, people issues, health issues. So we're gonna clean house, okay? We want to enter 2027 in the best shape possible so that we can further leverage on the positive stars to come. Okay, so if you have the dragon in your chart, pick one, whichever feels most urgent to you, and get cracking. Okay, now let's move on to the next animal sign. Okay, who's got the snake? Okay, who's got the snake? This is the former Grand Duke of 2025, still very much on an upswing. Okay, the leadership momentum in the snake from 2025 doesn't just disappear. 2026, it's being extended. The momentum is extended by the heavenly officer, a clear leadership star. Translation, people are still watching you. And this time, they are acknowledging your contributions. So with the thriving star and the surpassing path, support is present. You have other people's support. Doors open more easily. People become you find that they are generally more cooperative. The question is not about, it is that we are asking is, how do I consolidate this position? So how are we going to double down? Well, first, let's talk about the clan house. Clan house is a flex. Think of it as your trophy cabinet, the place where your achievements live. Yeah. So for business owners, this is where vanity PR becomes a legitimate strategy. Awards that you have won, industry recognition, brand of the year moments, put them in your marketing, display them clearly, celebrate them. And no, it's not vanity if it is real. Hello. Okay, so don't scoff at vanity PR. It's a legit strategy. Okay, for career professionals, the same principle applies. Platform your achievements, publish case studies, for example, lessons learned, share your case studies, contribute to internal knowledge bases, maybe make your work visible. Okay, so many ways that you can use the clan house. Just don't walk around with the employee of the month medal hanging around your neck, okay? That's not leadership, that's a choking hazard, okay? So careful there, right? And second, my favorite star out of all this, I'm not a big, I'm so Malaysian that yes, I love the money stars, but I also love this one. Heavenly Chef talks about good food. Suddenly there's access to good food. Okay. It's not just 100% indulgence, right? This is about using food intentionally to build relationship. Team lunches, dinners with partners, shared meals that strengthen bonds, okay, that eases negotiations. Beyond career also can be your own relationship with your spouse, with your children. Discovering new food together is an adventure, okay, and creates excitement in the relationship, right? Now just be aware, okay, an extra 2 kg is a very real hazard when the heavenly chef visits you, okay? Now, what should the snake be mindful of? Two things. Number one, health issues caused by overwork, sickness and death god coming together. These two appear when people fall into the trap of doing everything themselves, which is a trap that I often fall into. I can do it better. I can do it faster, right? A lot of people would be like, if I were to teach someone, it'll take me 3 hours. If I were to do it myself, it'll only take me 30 minutes. So I'll just do it myself. But here's the question. How many 30 minutes do you have in a day? Okay. So now, number two, all right. So anyway, you have the thriving star to support you, okay? So support exists. Okay, so delegate, please. Delegation is a leadership skill. And number two, second thing to be aware of, turf wars and power struggles. Solid killing, broken star and heavenly officer charm. When they come together, stir up ego clashes, political games, power trips, especially for those in the hierarchical environments. I know we're not able to avoid these dynamics entirely, but we can navigate them with restraint and strategy. Okay, because otherwise, if we are not careful here, the heavenly chef could morph into emotional eating. Okay, so we want to use food to build relationships, not to cope with stress. Okay, so for the snake in 2026, right? The message is clear. Okay, you are supported, you are recognized, you are visible. Pick one of these and put them in your action column, and then we move with intention. Okay, right. Let's move on to the next animal sign, the ox. Okay, so if you have the ox in your chart, here's a metaphorical question for you. If you knew ahead of time that a storm is coming, like for example, in the US right now, especially on the East Coast, you guys have been experiencing weeks of cold, right? So if you knew ahead of time that the cold is coming, wouldn't you prepare for it? Wouldn't you make sure that the pantry is stocked? Wouldn't you make sure that you create you have a lot of food in the food or necessities or even medications? Okay, whatever medication you need. So this is the same, where we don't wait until the snow shows up and then we go, oh my God, I have no toilet paper. Okay, so you can call it dooms prepping if you want, okay? But basically, the ox is preparing for a year of change ahead. in 2027. Understand? Okay. 2026 being given opportunities to prep. Okay. Because in 2027 now, the ox becomes the year breaker. I know we're still at the start of 2026, but we're looking ahead. Okay. So in 2027 is going to be the year of the goat, which means that the ox stands directly opposite the goat on the zodiac wheel. So this opposition makes the ox the year breaker in 2027, which means change. Okay, so 2026 means this is the year before change. And these stars are about preparation. Let's talk about them. Emperor star gives access to high value resources. This could be money, a line of credit, fresh capital, but it's not necessarily limited to cash. It can also mean access to other people's talent or time, access to distribution channels or system, access to data, information, specialized knowledge. Okay, so the real question only you can answer, what type of resources you need. Okay, so if you already know, since you already know 2027 will bring change, and along with the year breaker always comes the greater consumer, then the smarter move is to decide, okay, what kind of resources I need so that in 2027, I can be proactive about the change. Now, once that is clear, then you will know exactly what resources to gather now. Number two, the national treasure. This star acts like a CFO. It doesn't encourage reckless spending. It helps you systematize and stabilize what you already have. In other words, accessing resources is half the job. Integrating them into your existing system so that you can optimize and sustain is going to be the second part of the job. That's how these two guys work together. Okay, now this is not about hoarding, yeah. This is about being smart about incorporating. Okay, so for business owners, this can look like securing funding to support growth or cushion structural changes that needs to be made to the business. For career professionals, it may show up as even as mundane as restructuring debt, student loans, credit card repayment schedules, so that you can gain better financial control and breathing room. And third, the dragon virtue. This one is also a problem solver. It smooths the path when you take proactive steps to strengthen contingency planning and risk management. Okay, this is important because the brutal defeat is always present when the Emperor star shows up. Okay, brutal defeat its instability is very much like the stock market, whereby things are not on a stable or even keel. But the important point to note with the brutal defeat is that it only hits when we are overstretched or when we overreach. Okay, so for example, if I were to bite off more than I can chew and I take on this crazy project that I simply do not have the bandwidth for, that would be the brutal defeats effect. All the problems that comes from that project would be the effects of the brutal defeat. Because I'm all cocky, I think I can handle it, but actually I know I can't, right? So next, the year shark and the sky shark usually brings obstacles and setbacks. Okay, nothing dramatic. Let's be realistic. Has there ever been a year without setbacks and obstacles? Right, it's part and parcel of life, right? Right. Okay, so six harm, on the other hand, points to something that is more subtle. This is a mismatch between expectations and reality, which means expectation management is key. Be ambitious, of course, but stay realistic. Okay. And finally, to me, I feel the most important one I want to talk about, the swallow trap. This one deserves emphasis. Okay, so we're going to have you to repeat after me, okay, guys? I don't care how much you love the other party. In 2026, we will not ever co-sign a loan or financial agreement for someone else. We will not stand as guarantor. We will not co-sign with them. I don't care how much you love them. The answer is no. Okay. So you can push it off to, oh, I'll sign it next year. Okay. Not this year. This year cannot. Okay. So it's not a year for shared financial liability. So if you have the ox anywhere in your chart, message is very simple. Okay. You're not being pushed to change just yet. You're being given a chance to prepare properly. So pick the action that resonates the most, write it down in your action column. Okay. Now, let's move to the next animal sign, the rooster. Who's got the rooster in your chart? I want to be your best friend in 2026. Okay, so now here's the thing about the rooster. Okay, pretty much got all the nobleman stars covered. Okay, almost. Okay, so we're gonna count them. Number one, moon. And then there's a regular nobleman, then there's heavenly Yi, Tai Chi nobleman, sky gracious, 5 nobleman stars. Too much like you guys. Oh my god. Okay. Worth celebrating. Luckily for the rest of us, some escape your clutches. Okay. So but definitely the majority of the nobleman stars are in the rooster. So now, before we start clucking with joy, there are 2 things that we want to be very clear about. Okay. Otherwise, all that noble help will just go straight past us. No point. Okay. Now, first question. What kind of help are you actually looking for? Let me be blunt here. Yeah. Noble assistance will usually show up as advice, suggestions, ideas, referrals, leads, testimonials, stuff like that. Okay. What it does not mean is that someone magically appears like your fairy godmother and does all the work for you, bippity boppity boop, and then while you sit back sipping your matcha latte. No. That's not how it works. Okay. So this is why very often in like even in my YouTube channel, okay, we see comments like nobody came to help me. Okay, which is valid and no judgment. But in a year filled with nobleman stars, you gotta keep your eyes open and your ears sharp. Okay, help may come as a passing remark, a casual idea, a would you like suggestion. Okay, a have you thought about? So it's usually in that vein. Okay, it's not like someone just shows up and say, okay, I do everything for you. Okay, and then point number 2. This one is even more important. When we have so many nobleman stars, the second question is, why should people help us? Okay. People, let's put ourselves in the position of the noble person in the first place. And let's think back to the last time we helped someone, we truly helped someone, and let's think back why we did it. Was it out of obligation? Likely no. Okay, was it out of, I mean, of course, all help comes from the kindness of our hearts, of course. But was it out of obligation? Was it because we were forced to? No. Okay, if we help someone and we see them use that help to grow, it feels good, doesn't it? We're likely to help again, isn't it? But if someone keeps asking the same help over and over and over without doing anything about it, how long before you draw boundaries, right? So same principle applies here. Okay, so we want to put ourselves in a position where we not only appreciate the help, but at the same time also we demonstrate to the noble people that we are taking their help seriously and that we are the impact of their help on us is manifesting in growth. Okay, so how do we access all these nobleman stars? Are they people I already know? Who are they? Are they new to me? What is going on? Okay, now don't shoot the messenger, okay? But in a year full of noble stars, you better be building relationships. Okay. Now, for those of you with a more entrepreneurial bent, there's something interesting here. The moon, apart from being a noble star, is also a star of entrepreneurial ideas. So when you combine the moon with all these other nobleman stars, the rooster's energy actually starts to resemble an enterprise incubator. So if you've been sitting on ideas, this might be the year where you access the people who can help you to turn those ideas into a reality. Okay, but where do we even start to build these relationships? Even that also I can answer. Okay, so here's the hint. One of the negative stars in the rooster is this thing called a hook spirit. Traditional interpretation, problems from the past. But the operative word here is not problem. The operative word here is past, which means revive old connections, revive your past connections, reach out to former contacts, reconnect with old school friends, former colleagues, old bosses, anyone from the past. Okay. Because it's much easier to rebuild a relationship than to start from scratch. Okay. Right? Now, anything to watch out for? Yes, two things. Number one, great assembly. Systemic loopholes causing wealth leaks. Things like forgotten subscriptions that you are overpaying. Could be bottlenecks in your business system or in your career system or in your life system that adds more friction than is necessary. Okay. For you to live life efficiently. So it could be, for example, things are not as efficient as it can be. That's great assembly. Okay. And piercing rope. Okay. This makes the rooster more sensitive to external, economic or social political pressure. Antidote. Of course, all your nobleman stars lah. Okay. Right. Support system matters. Okay. Lean hard into the noble stars to build the support system and to build the relationships that you need. Okay. So that's it for the rooster. We are going on to the GOAT. Next. Okay. Let's talk about the goat. Goat is looking up in 2026. Yep. And honestly, that's a relief. Because in 2025, the goat was not the best, right? Okay. But some people still thrived, okay? So now, here's where things are shifting. The goat has a direct connection to the opportunities or momentum of the fire horse year. This comes because the goat and the horse, they combine. So hence the Grand Duke combination. Grand Duke combinations brings opportunities to partner with established leaders, a bigger player. How does this show up in real life? For business owners, it may look like partnering with a larger player and tapping into their market. Your product or your service might be bundled into theirs. You might be cross-selling for them. They might carry your products in their stores. The specifics depends on your business. But the theme is clear, alignment with someone bigger. Let's say, example, you want to start your new clinic and there's a leading brand of healthcare supplements that everyone is looking for, and you get a chance to have those products in your store. That could be a Grand Duke combination. Okay. For career professionals, this can show up as opportunity to work directly with a respected leader in your industry, thereby potentially earning yourself a mentor. Perhaps a chance to collaborate with a well-known clinic or a doctor, something or someone that adds weight to your resume. Understand? Okay, in your resume, I've worked with, Dr. House. Okay, I survived Dr. House. Now that's a flex. Okay, so the partnership theme is very, very central for the GOAT in 2026. And it is reinforced by the other positive stars as well. The sun, this is a nobleman star, one of the few that escaped the rooster's monopoly. Okay, just kidding. Okay, climbing saddle and golden carriage. This suggests that the right partnership brings accelerated change and opens up further growth opportunities. So really be on the lookout for partnership opportunities, right? Okay, so far so good, right? Okay, not that many stars, but very positive. Any flies in the ointment? Yes, just one, and this is very important. Okay, you get to trauma dump here. Okay. Okay, in this chat and only that. So this is what's going on. In 2025, the GOAT didn't have the support of many positive stars. So there's a very real chance that last year's challenges may have solidified into lingering resentment. This is the cascading cloud. Okay. And the 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 year may have changed, but we ourselves mentally still carrying the negative stars of 2025. So when that happens, the cascading cloud may cloud our judgment, and opportunities for partnership, especially the level ones, may actually pass us by. Gets worse with the sky emptiness and bad chi. This one, it's very simple, okay? It's chronic complaining. Complain, 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 complain. Let's be honest. Would you enjoy working with someone who always has a grouse? It's no fun, right? So here's the deal. Like I said, okay, like I said, you vent here in this live stream one time. After that, we wipe the slate clean. Okay, somebody Jam Dream says, what if you are goat and rooster? Then you take all law, you win now law. So okay, sorry, that's my English. Right. So 2026 requires the goat to have fresh energy, because the partnerships you're being offered respond to openness and to availability. Okay. So the more often we repeat sky emptiness and bad chi, this is often repeating the same dissatisfaction. We create our own reality, and then it becomes harder for the positive stars to translate into reality. Okay, so we vent one time here, and that's it. Then we change our tune. Deal? Deal. Okay, let's go to the next animal sign. Let's talk about the pig. Okay, 2025, the pig was the year breaker. So firstly, I hope the changes you went through last year ultimately worked in your favor, okay? But because here's the good news. Pig is one of the two strongest animal signs in 2026. And the positive stars supporting the pig falls into three main categories. Number one, money stars. Jade Hall 5 prosperity are both wealth-related stars. Together, they point towards opportunities to either create multiple income streams or compound the value of existing assets, whether tangible or intangible. So if you have been thinking or considering the idea of a side gig, a second business, or monetizing a skill you already have, well, consider this your cue. If not now, then when? Number two, it also has, luckily, some nobility stars. Sky Noble Heavenly brings assistance as well. Okay, so to answer the question, what if you have goat and rooster and pig too? Then you pao ka liao. you get everything, right? So, and yes, the same rules apply for accessing noble help that I outlined for the rooster. Okay, still applies. So help shows up when we are clear about what we need, when we are willing to act, and we are able to use the help well. Okay, number third, this is a contribution star, monthly virtue. Okay, when this star is active, anything you do that benefits society tends to generate returns quickly. Think of it as this is the monthly virtue, is the good karma star. But in a very practical sense, okay, the more people benefit from your actions, the stronger the impact becomes. So for business owners, this is excellent for CSR-driven initiatives, supporting your community or supporting a cause that you care deeply about. For career professionals, especially those of you in healthcare, this is already aligned with what you do every day. So consider small acts of volunteering or service. Okay, with the monthly virtue, the more you give, the more momentum comes back to you. Okay, this is not about virtue signaling. Yeah, hello, not about karma farming. Okay, this is a real contribution. So, for example, I I like to doom scroll as much as everybody else. So when I doom scroll TikTok, my TikTok is full of cats and dogs. That's basically. And there is this one channel where she is she's a professional pet groomer. But she also has a nonprofit that takes in difficult cases for those who have animals, but they are not able to properly groom them, and she does it for free. And it's being funded by her TikTok views. So this is actually the monthly virtue in action. Okay, so that's an example, right? So now, is there anything to be mindful of? Yes, two things. Number one, robbery shark. On a literal level, if you live in an area prone to theft, be more mindful of your personal safety and your house security, okay? So, and on a different on a more metaphorical level, be a little bit more reticent about sharing your leads, your ideas, your intellectual property. You can be generous, but within reason. Okay, because the robbery shark can also show up as someone else taking credit for your work. So document your contributions, protect your receipts. And number two, lesser consumer. Lesser consumer is still like greater consumer, but smaller volume. Okay, this represents small expenses. This represents lesser consumer, represents retail therapy because it's Tuesday. If you can afford it, why not? I'm not judging, okay? I'm not judging. Good for you, okay? But if the small purchases starts piling up into a bigger issue, then some financial mindfulness again is required. Because I mean, planned, budgeted small luxuries are always more satisfying than unconscious spending, right? Then we don't have to deal with the guilt, right? So if you have the pig in your chart, message is simple. You're well supported. You have plenty of options. Pick one, whichever resonates the most, put it in your action column. Okay. Now, we've gone through 11 animal signs, only one missing. Can you guess which one, or have you lost track? We saved the best one for last. Okay. Only one. Yes, go with the dogs. Yes. I love what she does. Okay. I know there's a lag on between Zoom and YouTube. Okay. So I'm not going to wait for you guys to guess, because it'll take a while for me to see it. So we're moving on. The last animal sign, the best one, the king of 2026, the rabbit. Okay. So look at this list of positive stars. Three, count them, three wealth stars. Three, fortune virtue, heavenly virtue, prosperity star. This alone tells us that the rabbit is on an upward cycle in 2026, and it's about goddamn time. Okay, so now let's be precise. Fortune, virtue, and prosperity are literal money stars. They bring growth. They bring financial growth. They could mean professional growth. Basically, they open doors. Basically, the door somehow is opening easier. For business owners and career professionals alike, this can show up as the potential of maybe a new and highly lucrative project, or it could show up as increased transactions and therefore higher profits. It could show up as increased responsibilities and hopefully higher income. Okay, it could show up as access to larger markets or bigger roles. The feeling is very simple. Doors start to open. And when doors open, we better be stepping through. Okay. Instead of passively waiting, oh, which door going to open? Oh my God. Okay. Why don't we start crafting our own keys? Can we do that? We can get the ball rolling, trigger the actions needed for the financial growth that we want. So for business owners, this could mean kickstarting a campaign aimed at increasing transactions, maybe. It could mean fine-tuning and making small improvements to your product or service quality. For career professionals, this could be showing up consistently on platforms such as LinkedIn. It could also show up as getting involved in your professional associations, sending out feelers for potential new roles. So many ways to work with these stars. But here's the thing. The positive stars always works best when we are the ones who are initiating the action, right? Because, okay, we want to meet the universe halfway. Understand? So when we take action, we are literally meeting the universe halfway so that we get better access to this, right? So in other words, principle of the yin and yang. If you want the effect, you better start the course. Okay. And again, I don't want to scare you into thinking I have to do something big and dramatic. No. Actually, small actions often work better than big dramatic ones, because small actions are more sustainable. Take one small step, let a door open, walk through it, then repeat. next. So it could look like, for example, you start showing up on, let's say, example, you start showing up on LinkedIn. You get the LLMs, ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, whoever, to write posts for you. And you start showing up every day, and you tell yourself, every day I'm going to leave a comment on one person's post, and you're just doing it consistently. It compounds, yeah. It will compound, right? So now, honestly, with these three guys together, okay, they're so strong that the rabbit has already won the game in 2026. But there's more. Tai Chi Nobleman points to access to mentors, to teachers, to guidance. Sky Happiness brings networking opportunities, relationships, building relationships that lead to even more open doors, for example. And to top it all off, you have two Peach Blossom stars. Okay, the Peach Blossom and the Salty Pool, which means likability factor is easily 10 times higher in 2026. Now, if you're a business owner or if you are a career professional and you are dealing in sales, okay, Peach Blossom and Salty Pool is a chance to use the likability bias, FYI. Okay, so with all these positive stars, the rabbit needs to be hopping and proactive. I'm sorry, when your chart is full of positive stars, you cannot sit back and go, I do nothing. Cannot. You gotta be out there. You gotta be compounding your growth. Okay, every small step forward unlocks another opportunity. So if you have the rabbit in your chart, this is my wish for you. May you be faced with so many open doors that you don't know which one to choose. Oh, that's a good problem to have. Okay. So now, some of you may be asking, what about the negative stars? Listen, they're just argumentative stars, okay? In a year like this, when this one trumps this one, we focus on the positives, all right? Okay, so that's it. All 12. Done. Back to our sample chart, okay? So in this sample chart, we have the rooster, the snake, the ox, and the goat. And I have used some of the action, and I put here revive past connections, go and reconnect with friends, use food to build relationships because well, the one writing is me, and remember, I love the Heavenly Chef. Okay. And for day would be financial, because it's the ox, financial management she wants to focus on, he or she. Access to resources, go and check how he or she can maybe restructure their finances, things like that. And in the hour, look out for partnership opportunities. So that's it. Very simple, based on the stars. For some of you, if you have all four, then four things to do. If you have three, then it's three. Or if you are if you're like, that's too much, I just want to focus on one animal, which is my celestial animal in the year, that's fine as well. Okay, so hope you enjoyed this. I'm going to stop the sharing and let's go into questions.
Pauline, we had a lot of people just telling their different animals, but there was one very important question, which is how they would connect with you for a private reading if they want one.
Thank you. Thank you for that. But right now I have I can share the link to my booking, but FYI, right now bookings are temporarily paused because I'm fully booked up to end of February. And I'm not comfortable allowing clients to book and wait more than a month for for the appointment. I know it makes zero business sense. I know I'm leaving money on the table. I know. But what to do? I like to sleep at night too. So for now, bookings are temporarily rarely paused. If you don't mind a bit of a wait, to the person who was asking, then what I would recommend is if you could check in. I'm gonna just give the link here. And if you could check in at the end of February, I would have opened the I would have opened the bookings for March by then. Okay, I'm just going to jump into YouTube for a while and see if there are any other questions. What is denim D Chang? I'm going upwards, yeah, guys. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. What is the main difference between hour, day, month, and year? Year pillar governs your social and professional network. It also governs your industry. The month governs how you run your business or your career. Basically, it's the work pillar. The day pillar is about the self. Physical health can also mean your intimate relationship, and the hour is either children, investments, mindset, or children, investments, mindset. It can also represent your staff as well. What is the difference between natal versus 2026 in the Bazi chart? Natal is natal. That's what you were born with. It doesn't change. And then 2026 is talking about how the energy of the year is impacting your chart. Okay, let me see what else. Okay, I see Shirley is celebrating. All right. Cynthia, do we have any other questions?
No, I think the rest were all everybody telling all their day and year and month. So I'm going to say they can go onto your website and get more information as well.
Sure.
So if you want to give the information about your website, we'll do that.
So this is the landing page for the my website is not very active these days, very busy. Okay, anything
There's
else
a couple of last questions on YouTube now.
Okay. Beth Converse asking, is February 17th the actual transition? No, the transition is today, February 4th. February 17th is the Lunar New Year. It's a celebration day. It's a day where whether or not I have the heavenly chef, I turn into the heavenly chef. Okay.
And one person asked about having the young fire horse. If they have the young fire horse in the hour pillar.
What does it mean if I have fire horse in the hour? Be careful. Watch out for a mindset that is quite impatient. Mindset that makes you feel like you are too late to the game. That and you're punishing yourself. But actually, the good way to use the horse in the hour would be to learn something difficult. To challenge yourself to master something, learn something difficult.
Wow, thank you so much, Paulynne. What a lot of information in a little over an hour. I don't know how you do it. But I want to say thank you so much. Thank you to Rob Nadeau, our operations manager, and Julian Ruiz, our tech host. This has been recorded, so if you want to watch it again or send it to friends, send them to the Pacific College of Health and Science YouTube channel. You can also check out our other offerings at Pacific Center for Lifelong Learning. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your for being such a great audience. Thank you for connecting with me, and of course, as always, thank you, Cynthia and the team at Pacific College. Really love working with you guys.